What happens when it's Azure Standard Pickup Day and the weather is not cooperating? I know that is a question for many, and I am about to show you. Unfortunately, it is a cold day. It is 48 degrees and raining. Feels like temperature is in the middle to low 40 or 30s actually. And we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna bring you along for my Azure pickup, as well as a short little trip through Walmart to grab a few extras that I needed. So if you're interested in an Azure Standard Haul, plus what happens when the weather doesn't cooperate and a little bit of Walmart, hang out, because I'm gonna have something here that I think you're gonna wanna see. So I made it, and they are behind me getting ready to unload the truck. But just as I pulled in, I met up with my connection, which you'll make lots of those when you're out at Azure pickups, for some heavy cream from some raw jersey. So anyway, keep those things in mind when you're out at a pickup. Sometimes you're gonna pick up things that you don't really have on your Azure order. So right now I'm gonna set you up and back so you can see what we're doing because of the inclement weather. But first, I'm gonna get ready. It is so cold out there today, and the rain is not my friend. So big coat time, and I'll show you what we're doing. If there's inclement weather, whether that be rain, snow, or anything else, our drop coordinator asks everyone if they have any extra feed bags or anything that they can put down to keep stuff up off the ground to bring it in. But we are actually lucky enough here to where not only do we have stuff to place over the ground, we're lucky enough where we're at to have a little awning, which is really, really nice. Because we can place even our bags and things under the area that is covered in case precipitation is actually still falling, which it was on this day, obviously. So we have our name plaques out on the ground, and everybody is unloading off of the back of the truck and going to drop things down where they belong. I found my pile high and dry back up under the awning all the way up by the door. So I was super lucky that I didn't have to deal with any of the water or any of those issues on mine. Now, as you did maybe see a moment ago, there is a pallet that somebody had pulled off of the truck to lay down in one of the puddled areas. So we just kind of make do. The fact is they don't reschedule. We do go pick up our food. And so you need to be a little bit prepared to kind of roll with the punches. And this is one of the reasons, along with Pantry Challenge, that I actually do not go do a January drop. Now, I have done in the past, but this year I'm not going to be doing that. And I'm super excited to roll through my Pantry Challenge month without having to go, not only because of the challenge itself, but also because of inclement weather. After I got all of my stuff loaded, I also am that friend. And if you know what that means, you know what that means. At Azure orders and Azure pickup, sometimes it's on a time where it might not be ideal for a couple of my friends. And so I go down, they know I'm going, and I will grab their orders and bring them all home. So if you can see this picture of everything in my car, I had over 80 pounds of fresh fruit, plus tons and tons of other goodies that we all needed for our months. Now, after I got everything loaded, I headed down the road to Walmart. There's one super close to pick up just a few last things that I didn't need in bulk that I just wanted to grab on my way back home. So my phone was glitching just a bit, maybe because of the rain. So I'm going to start off with just a few items here in the store. I grabbed some green onions, coleslaw, cauliflower. Actually got 2 of those, plus a boneless pork loin. Now, my kids haven't had much pork because we are in an area with tons of beef farmers. We actually had a lot of cattle ourselves for years. And so we're used to a stocked fridge full of beef as well as venison because we are hunters, or they are, I should say. I am not a hunter. But we always have meat in the fridge along with fishing. So pork was a really big treat for them to have this big loin. When I made it that night, I seared it off on my cast iron on the stove and then put it in the oven to finish, and it was perfect. This one is actually something that the kids asked to do on repeat. One of my sons actually said, "I don't know what that was, Mom, but that was built different." So I thought that was a really funny kind of saying to go along with how well they like that. And actually, we've already had another one since I picked this order up. I actually had visions of grabbing pineapples too, but after I tested a few by pulling the leaves, none of them were even close to ripe, which is really unfortunate because I was at this store a little bit before Thanksgiving. The last few completer items that I did grab at Walmart came to just right at $30. Now, my phone was back in action, so I'm going to show you here all of the stuff that I had from the Azure order. Once I grabbed the 80 pounds of fruit for my friends, that was 60 pounds of apples for my home as well as theirs, as well as 20 pounds of pears with a bunch of other awesome, awesome food. So what exactly did we get? Well, let's check it out. Oh, this little lady has yet to meet a camera that she doesn't like. So if you see her throughout, just take a little enjoyment of her antics and the joy of being 4. She loves every second of it. So from Walmart, again, we got the produce and the pork. Obviously, I could have bought conventional produce and saved a bit. Just personal choice there. My kids love apples. So first thing out of the box had to be the apples. And these headed for the inside of the fridge before sending the rest to our outside fridge. Now, obviously, there's going to be a few bruised here with the 2-year-old banging them together, but we'll take what we can get. She eats them really fast, so it's good to go. Next, we loaded up the pears. Fresh pears sliced super thin with cream cheese are a huge hit around here. And I actually love to do them on a little crostini bread as an appetizer if we're headed to church, or just to have around, maybe even a drizzle of honey. It is such a nice, wonderful, fresh snack. We did get one bad pear. If there's ever more than that of bad produce, I will call back and they will usually credit the order, or if they're all bad, they will just credit the whole thing. That isn't something that generally happens, but occasionally you do get an item or two that is bad. This one I just tossed out to the chickens. Our Azure order had yellow ginger, which we quickly froze, so pull out as needed. Egg noodles, 10 pounds of organic Romano mozzarella cheese. I shred this up and freeze it. I shred it into the amount that we'll need for a pizza, and then we just throw it into our freezer and pull out as needed. It shreds beautifully. I've never had any problem with it. And this mozzarella is so amazing. It's actually drier than the cheese that I am able to get in blocks at Sam's. And because the moisture content is lower, I feel like it goes farther on a pizza. So I actually get more mileage out of this than I get from any other big block mozzarellas that I can find locally. It's also really, really good quality because it is an organic cheese. We also loaded up on seasonings and spices. I got a large bag of Montreal steak seasoning, parsley, and lemon pepper. I also stocked up on Pomona's pectin for some of my upcoming canning projects in January. Now, if you're into canning, make sure to subscribe to my page because I have some great content and a super exciting collaboration coming along. So I want to make sure that y'all know what's coming up. We also tried a new vanilla this time, which was absolutely amazing. It's the Flavor Organics Organic Vanilla Extract. And don't sleep on this one. It smells amazing. We also grabbed another gallon of honey because we go through it rather fast. We actually got a pour lid for a mason jar this month too to try out for the honey. I will say this wasn't ideal. In my brain, it was going to work super well because the kids would easily be able to get what they needed. But in reality, when they flipped the jar all the way upside down, it put too much air in there, and then the air would need to burp out of the little air hole, leaving honey to come out of the jar and into the cabinet. So I will continue to use this lid and put it on some oil or vinegar to keep beside the stove, but it's not going to be a honey jar as long as I've got little ones involved. This month, we also ventured into some home and body products. I grabbed a small bottle of dish soap to try because my favorite dish soap is the Abode dish soap from doTERRA. It cuts grease like nothing out there, and it is natural and just good to have in your home. So that's my favorite, but it's been on back order for quite some time. So I decided this time, which I still actually have right here, to go ahead and grab the citrus fragrance in the Azure line. I really have noticed that my hands feel great and everything is clean. And again, it's a natural line that is safer to have in the house. So I feel like in the coming months, we will continue to go ahead and buy that. I'll probably grab it in gallons because I can save even more money. I also grabbed a gallon of olive oil, which solidified, as you can see, from the freezing temperatures outside. But it did continue to come back, of course, to normal as the temperature regulated. I got some toothpaste, mouthwash, shampoo and conditioner, and a gallon of genuinely pure foaming hand soap. This is an item that I've been super surprised with. The soap feels slightly creamy and it hasn't dried out my hands at all. We also are trying out the 3-in-1 body wash. I actually like this, but next time I'm going to try to order one that is a scent-free version because it competes with the mango shampoo that I got and conditioner. I have been super happy with those. I was trying some bar soaps and I just wasn't super happy with them. My all-time favorite was the doTERRA that was discontinued. So at this point, this Desert Essentials that I got from Azure has been super great. And I'm going to get a bulk deal, get a few of those this month because they're on sale 15% off. So if I can stock up while they're on sale, that's something that we're definitely going to do, especially with so many little girls in the house that are going to be needing conditioner as well. Also in this order was a 25-pound bag of organic sugar. To keep it well, I dump it into food-grade buckets with Gamma Seal lids. Obviously, for our seasonings, they're smaller. So I put those in jars and put them up on the pantry shelf behind closed doors to keep them hidden from the light. And we also tuck the honey and olive oil away in our extra closet pantry. Oh, and I almost forgot our favorite pizza sauce. We grabbed that from them as well. I get that in the 6-pack to save a little bit of money where I can there. The last item up for conversation is the new Azure canning jars. Now, I am kind of picky and I love the ball jars and I love all my jars to match. So I was a little bit nervous about branching out, but I wanted to give them a try. Now, what I did notice immediately feeling both jars side by side is I felt like my ball jars were a little bit heavier. But when I got my scale out to measure or to weigh them, the Azure jars were actually heavier. So just in case you're curious, the Azure jars are a little bit heavier weight. They are really nice quality. And they still do have a neat little picture on the side. The one thing that I don't love about the Azure jars is that they don't have the measurements on them. Now, I will say, funny enough, right after I got this order, I got a survey from Azure and the questions were specifically about canning jars. If we were interested in them, what sizes we would like to see them add, and if measurements were important to us. So I have a sneaking suspicion that in the future, you are gonna see those measurement lines get added to the jars as they continue to grow their line. I just feel like it's something that we're all used to coming from other jars, and it's something that would be necessary if we're actually gonna be competing. So the Azure jars themselves we really like. I haven't had any problems with them whatsoever, and I will continue to get some. Again, just hoping that they add those extra sizes as well as the marks for measuring to make it easier when you're doing things aside from just canning. All in, I spent $482 this month with my Azure order, getting all of the home and body products as well as the things that we needed for our kitchen. Now, when you bulk buy, you're able to get some of those things when they're on sale, and then months going forward, you don't need all of those same things. So it really has been a really neat change for us to be able to switch over to grabbing some things in bulk along the way. In the future, our family's switching a little bit around on our eating habits. So if you're interested in seeing what you can grab from Azure, that might be more along the carb-free line or sugar-free line, you might hang out because I have a really cool order in my cart right now and I can't wait to get it. So I want to thank you guys for stopping by the Hometown Homestead. If you have any questions or comments or any suggestions for things that you think I should grab, make sure to leave them below. Again, if you're interested in anything homemade, homegrown, or homeschooled, or you're interested in that new canning content that I have coming up, make sure to hit the subscribe button on your way out. Thanks for stopping by, friends. I'll see you back soon.